Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. I'm Michael Duniho. I live at 1590 North Saddleback Avenue in Tucson. I've not spoken in this forum for 4 years since I was appointed to your Election Integrity Commission. A sequence of events has brought me here today. The first event, in November 2011, the state added new election requirements, including one that counties must sort early ballots by precincts for the hand count audit. John Moffett was involved and reported to your commission on changes proposed and made, but did not report this new requirement to your commission. The second event, in June and July 2012, Brad Nelson applied for and received a waiver from this requirement. Mr. Nelson neither consulted nor informed your commission of this action. The third event, on October 26th, with statistical evidence suggesting potential fraud nationally in computerized vote counting, an emergency meeting of your Election Integrity Commission unanimously approved a recommendation for today's meeting that you order the sorting of early ballots and a precinct-based hand count audit to confirm the honesty of Pima County elections. The fourth event, in response to a lawsuit, the county included copies of 2 letters which revealed the existence of the new ballot sorting requirement and Mr. Nelson's successful request for a waiver. The fifth event, without informing or consulting your Election Integrity Commission, your staff postponed your consideration of our recommendation to November 20th. The sixth event, in response to a query about why your commission's recommendation was missing from the November 13th agenda, Mr. Moffett attributed the delay to ballot counting and possible recounts and challenges. The reasons given are clearly not relevant to delaying your consideration of our recommendation and serve only to tighten the time frame in which to organize people to implement a precinct-based hand count audit before the ballots are moved to the treasurer's vault. The sequence of events raises the question whether there is genuine importance or credence given to election integrity in our county. Your staff has been disrespectful to your Election Integrity Commission and, by implication, insubordinate to you. The question now is whether you will take any action to address these acts of disrespect to you and the Election Integrity Commission you created 4 years ago. After listening to 2 years of public concern about the conduct of elections in Pima County, and after Pima County lost at great taxpayer expense a lawsuit having to do with election transparency. If there is no election fraud to mask, there is no reason for Pima County's continued tolerance of the obvious anti-transparency efforts demonstrated by your staff. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Mr. Duniho. I'd like to call up Mr. Jim March. Please identify yourself for the record. You have 3 minutes.
Hi, my name is Jim March. I'm also a member of the Pima County Election Integrity Commission, and I'm here for starters to join with my colleague Michael Duniho in all of his complaints, everything he just said. Let me try and fill in a few of the gaps for you and explain why this matters. All the votes in Pima County are divided into basically 3 chunks. You have the mail-in and early voting, which are audited in one way. You have the precinct voting, which gets audited in a different way. And you have the provisional ballots, which don't get audited at all. Let me start with that, because that's actually a very major point. Right now, you've got huge numbers of mail-in votes, huge numbers of provisional votes being stacked up like cordwood here in Pima County, in Maricopa County, even worse than us, and proportionally also bad in Pinal and other counties. Now, why are there all these provisional ballots? We know that there was a combination of poll book error, poll book creation error in a minor way here in Pima County, combined with poor communication with the poll workers on what to do about that. And it led to, in some precincts, just as many provisional voters as there were regular voters. Well, this should concern you because the more provisional voters there are, the greater the opportunities for fraud. Provisional ballots are not subject to any auditing at all. Now, another group you should be concerned about is the mail-in votes, because without sorting them by precinct, it's possible to check those ballots for machine error, but it's not possible to check them for fraud. Okay? The way we audit mail-in votes, they'll take a batch of approximately 200 votes. They'll first print a who's winning and losing report. Nobody looks at it. It goes face down in a box. You scan 200 ballots, put it on top of those, print another who's winning and losing report called a summary report, and you stick it on top of that. So now, by doing subtraction, you know how many votes for each candidate and race are supposed to be in that box, and you can count that box. But that doesn't prevent alterations to the sum total of the mail-in votes after those audit batches have been created. So it's a check against machine error, but not a check against fraud. What the Secretary of State's manual says is that you need to be checking for fraud as well. Mickey Donahoe, myself, and others have been screaming for this for years. It turns out, unknowns to us, we got it, and it was taken away, also unknown to us. This is not cool. This is not right, and both myself and Mr. Donahoe are here to object to it. But beyond that, there are greater issues of election security that we need to think about, including what's going on with all those provisionals, and is it random chance that all the counties have got enormous numbers of provisionals created by different problems in each county? Is it coincidence, or does somebody want unaudited votes?
Thank you, Mr. March. Is there anyone else who would like to address the board or call to the public? Hearing none, this meeting stands adjourned.